On this week's episode, we'll discuss all things Peloton Homecoming as well as the new rower.
And we have a new Pelo baby on the way. Jess King announces her baby with her partner Sophia, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 82 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm John Pruitt, joined as always by my co-host, Amanda Siegel. Hey now, Amanda.
Hey, John. How are you?
Good. It's been a good week. Made a little trip.
It's
A little quick trip to Boston for a John Mayer concert, then right back to it here in Michigan.
good for you. Good for you. And what a busy weekend. Oh my goodness. We were all waiting with much anticipation, and I guess we will share with all of you our thoughts on Peloton Homecoming 2022. But yeah, it was definitely a good week. I got back from Florida, did a 15-hour drive in a day. I was very impressed. No, I have to tell you, I was pretty impressed with myself. Nicole and I shared the driving. We did awesome and made it in one piece. So yeah, back in Maryland and getting ready for the summer. But I know everybody wants to hear our thoughts on Homecoming 2022. So folks, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see John and my mugs, then just go ahead and hit subscribe at the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit notify so that you never miss an episode.
And if you're on the go, you just want to listen to us, we're on all traditional podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV, hit subscribe, click the notifications so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. If you like the show, we love to hear your feedback and ways we can improve the show and other positive notes that you like about the show.
And finally, folks, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So make sure that you follow us on all of those platforms so that you never miss the latest news. And I guess, John, let's get on with it.
Right.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, John, I guess we have to start off with recapping the Homecoming Keynote and what we got to learn. Some of it was new, some of it was not, some of it you guys have heard here for the last few weeks, months. We've been sharing with you, but
They saved the biggest.
First off,
they saved the biggest news for last.
Yeah. The biggest news for
Which
last.
we're going to start off. We're going to start off with, because we know that's what folks want to hear.
Which we're going to start off with. Everybody wanted to hear it. We got to see Adrian right there flexing those muscles on, yes, a Peloton Rower. Nothing specific. We don't know when it's coming out. We don't know when it's going to be on sale. We don't know how much it's going to cost, but we know it's coming, and it's real. It's real because Adrian was on it and you could kind of see that, the screen, and you got to see the rower. And yeah, I mean, look, we all knew it was happening. We knew it was going to be announced today. I think I am a little disappointed that we don't have a specific date and we don't have a price, right, John?
Yeah, it would have been nice. Yeah, it was a tease. It was a teaser. It was like a teaser trailer for a movie. We just saw him, doing a few strokes on it, and it looks super sleek.
Exactly.
And it also looks like it uses the monitor that the Bike Plus and the lower cost Tread share. So they're using that same screen, which is nice. So
yeah,
but yeah, there's not much,
which is nice.
Not much else.
But there wasn't much. Not
much hard data.
We've heard some rumbling. I mean, the rumbling that we've heard is that it should pretty much come on the market. We're thinking maybe September with delivery October. That's kind of some stuff that we've heard. So let's hope that we're right. The rumor mill is out there. But I mean, look, folks are definitely excited. I'm actually excited. I got to tell you, John, I think I'm getting one. And I think what I may even do is I think I may actually return my Tread Plus and get my money back and get the lower cost Tread and the Rower.
For space?
It'll give me a little bit more space. Yeah, you know what? It'll give me a little bit more space. And I have to tell you, I'm having Tread issues again, so my screen is not working.
Is it freezing? Is it freezing
So I'm
on you?
figuring, yeah.
So
yeah.
I have heard one person that was having the same issue. The technician came and they said it could be possibly the motherboard that needs to be replaced. Because I've replaced my Tread Plus screen many times, and I
know you have.
I haven't had that issue again, but I also turn it off after every use. I have it plugged into its own outlet with nothing else plugged into it on that outlet. So, and with a surge protector.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, time.
Anyway, we don't want to go on about that,
Yeah.
but my point being though that I think that the Rower looks exciting, and I think that I want to have one in my gym. So I was really pleased to see that we had that teaser. Of course, dying to know who the row coaches are going to be. From what we're hearing, new that there are going to be some new coaches that they're training and getting out there, and then possibly some of the ones, some of the ones that are already, in the rotation will become rowing coaches. So. Again, we have to just kind of sit tight and wait. So I guess that was number, although it was the last thing that they spoke about in Keynote, was the number one that everybody was waiting for. The other, John, was the studio opening. I mean, come on. Summer is here. We are just a few weeks away from official summer. There have been, touting that it's going to open in the summer, and yet we're now hearing maybe August. So, they teased that it was coming. They teased that, excited about having us in the studio. It was in all the panels. Everybody spoke about it. And yet we still don't have any specific date. And that was disappointing. I really thought that we were going to hear a date, just throw it out there. You can always change it.
Yeah, they just told us what we already knew all along. So
yes, I was definitely disappointed about that. I guess one of the new features none of us did know, and even us here at Pelo Buddy didn't know about this, was this new invite friends feature. So I kind of think, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? I haven't quite, the jury's out yet for me. I mean, is it going to be kind of like a sessions thing that didn't really pan into anything? I mean, I never jump on a sessions. So is it going to be something like that? I mean, what was your take on it?
What I gravitated to was the fact you could invite people for a milestone class. You could kind of send out a mass. I don't know how it's sent, if it's through the app. By leaderboard name, but it looked kind of cool, like a mass distribution for, if you're celebrating an upcoming milestone in a class. That looked kind of cool. I haven't, checked it out firsthand, but that was the one thing that I thought was interesting. Me too. And I guess, of course, it was something we didn't know about, so it was fun to hear something new that they were kind of releasing. And then that Just Work Out feature. We shared it this week on Pelo Buddy that was coming, and I guess they made it a little bit more official, which I think is a great feature. There are tons of people that do like to take Peloton on the road with them, and it is frustrating when you're having to, there's only so much audio content for, walks and runs. There's nothing for cycling. So this is going to be really nice for the cycling. So for those of you that aren't aware, this Just Work Out feature is going to be something that you'll be able to pull up off the app, where you'll be able to kind of take your runs or your walks or or a bike out on the road and it will track your heart rate through your heart rate monitor or your Apple Watch. It'll track your distance properly, and it'll allow you to
kind of put in your own, your own music. You won't have to do anything Peloton related as far as music goes. So I'm thinking I'm getting it. That's kind of my interpretation of, of what they're offering. It's going to be available this summer. And I think it's going to be they started beta testing it this past week. A couple people got it on their app. I didn't have it. I kept refreshing my app and updating my app to see if I had it, because it's definitely a feature that I will use. But my understanding is that there are some folks that actually have been beta testing it. And so far, so good, I think.
I have it.
You got it?
I just pulled it up.
Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
All right. So maybe I'm going to
there
pull
it
mine up and
is.
see if I have it.
It's just listed. If you go to classes I'm on the iOS app, but for me, it's listed right above your tag section. It says just workout, it says beta, and then there's outdoor running, outdoor walking, outdoor cycling, and then you just select one, and then
they're obviously slowly adding it, slowly but surely. I do not have it yet on mine.
Oh.
Do not have it yet on mine. So unfortunately, I've just got this. That's a pity, because I would have loved to have used it this weekend. All right, I'm sure it's coming. But those of you, look out. So if you do go to your iOS app or your Android app, you'll be able to find it right under, as John said, under classes. And my understanding, is, John, you said right above your tags?
Yeah, and the classes tab.
It'll be right over there?
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah. And
iOS only.
we're hearing from,
control
go
room.
ahead.
Yep, just on the iOS first, and then obviously to Android eventually.
Awesome. So I think that for for those folks that like to use the app and want to cross train, and as I said, take their workouts out there, they can just ride, they can just run, or it's kind of the equivalent of that just ride, just run, but it's actually out on the street. And of course you can head over to Pelo Buddy if you want to learn more about it. Chris does have some snapshots of what it's going to look like.
And I think it's also nice that if you are on the go, you need to earn your blue dot, and you actually want to earn it for doing something, a physical activity, you can use that feature, get your blue dot, and actually do something, not just, say doing something like a meditation or along those lines. If you're actually out and about, you might as well get credit for it on your activity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, which is great. Yep, and it adds to your mileage for the month. It'll add to your
minutes,
all of that stuff.
Right.
That you kind of your minutes and your mileage, and which will be great.
True.
And then we got to see Tunde herself share her new arms program, which again we have mentioned to you on the show previously. But that was exciting, and she was really pumped and excited about that. So
new arms program for the guide.
For the guide. Yeah, so exactly. For the guide. And of course we have it on pelobuddy.com in order for you to kind of learn more about it too. But that was pretty cool. And then the Peak Your Power Zone program, Matt Wilpers shared that program. Again, we had mentioned it to you on the show previously, but they made that official. So we got to learn a little bit more about the Peak Your Power Zone program. And it's a brand new Power Zone training program that... And I guess it's the third official program, but this is a new, kind of like a new one that they're launching. The first program was Discover Your Power Zones, and then they had the Build Your Power Zones. So this is a great way for those folks that are, really into their Power Zone workouts, to be able to have a new program to work with. And my understanding, it's called Peak Your Power Zones.
Yeah.
So it's the Peak Your Power Zones program.
Looks like it's an 8-week program, three active days in each week, and all 5 current Power Zone instructors have classes in it.
Yeah. So that was nice to see.
And pelobuddy.com, we have the full week 1 schedule all the way through week all all 8 weeks with all the instructors listed for the days and times.
Yeah, folks, and always as a reminder, we tease it each week, is that if you are not interested in kind of following the program and going through the sessions as they give you on the app or on the hardware, you can head over to pelobuddy.com and you can go right into whichever one you want to go into. So, with the Tunde's Arms program, you do not need the guide if you want to go straight to pelobuddy.com. And again, we spoke about that last week or the week before. So don't forget that you're able to do that.
So
you don't have to have the guide in order to do it.
So Chris Lewis provides links on pelobuddy.com, and what you can do is you click on the link, you can add it to your stack, and then basically do it through the app on your bike or tread that way.
Exactly, which is amazing.
It's a nice little
workaround. Same with the
workaround.
Power Zone. So the Power Zone program, same with the Power Zone program. If you kind of don't want to follow it, from start to finish the way that they present it to you, you can just head over to pelobuddy.com and do exactly the same thing. Click on the link, add it to your stack, and it's right there for you. So, a nice little roundabout if you're not interested in following along.
Yeah.
And then they were touting another all-for-one music festival. So seeing that coming out over the summer, they're going to kind of spread it across the summer. There was a lot of fun last year when they did it with, so many different genres and different bands and music, groups and music that they offered. So that they were really excited about coming back as well. And I think Alex Toussaint was definitely the hype guy. He was the MC of the keynote, and it was fun to see him up there, and he was pretty animated. And he introduced Barry McCarthy, the new CEO, who, was kind of just blah.
It was a little
kind of shady.
Kind of a little. It was very scripted. I mean, each person, it was pre-recorded. When they threw it to each instructor, they were just reading a teleprompter.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the things that I picked up on this, and I don't know if you, John, picked up the same thing, was that I think because John Foley was just he was the kind of the brains behind it, there was definitely a passion that came through when he spoke. I mean, John wasn't the most exuberant guy either, but there was definitely something that you saw. I almost felt like, in fact, I heard Barry say a couple times referring to Peloton in like the third party, not making it his own, as the CEO. That was kind of my take on it, was that there was just, you own it now, buddy. It's like, you got to get behind it. So I almost felt like he was looking at it from an outsider perspective and giving us info. Again, just my perspective. I mean, just how I got the feels, or no feels, from that. But from what I'm hearing over the weekend and the chatter from folks, I think some folks were underwhelmed. I think folks, expected more. Obviously, this year they did far less than they did last year. And obviously, a lot of that's got to do with the financial, constraints that they have this year. But it was exciting last year when everyone kind of got their box and they were waiting to see what they were going to get, whether it was the streamers and the balloons or it was the mug and the eye mask. Or
the hype kit. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so I think that part was a little disappointing.
Yeah, there wasn't. It felt more like just a recap of a lot of things, a re-summary of a lot of things we already knew that had already been announced. Just trying to re-energize you. I thought it was nice, though, something different this year that they didn't do last year, though, was they recognized different members for different achievements in different regions for most workouts. The one that I noticed the most, because I had been recognized that in a homecoming a few years ago for most high fives, was that category, which
Anna, you've been beat, John.
I know, Anastasia Spins, shout out to that person that member for giving out the most high fives this past year.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was actually kind of cool to get that. And of course, they also introduced, they also introduced all the new members, instructors, I should say, at least, excuse me, all the new instructors that had joined, from the bike and the tread. They, spoke about
in New York and London. Yeah.
UK instructors, the Camilla as the first Spanish speaking instructor, Mila and Bradley, being on the UK side of things, German. And then they also mentioned Logan Aldridge, and that he was new, and that he would be
consulting,
showing us his face, and but also becoming that instructor. So they made that a little bit more official as well. So that was kind of nice. And then again, I think another thing to talk about, and this is just again chatter, people are, I'm sure you're hearing the same stuff that I'm hearing, John, but there was nothing really special about any of the workouts. Last year, they had a different screen behind them. They used a homecoming screen. I remember that distinctly. And this year, it was just, workouts. Just
the same production.
I think people were expecting, and no
a little
badge.
Different production.
No badge. So that was another thing, I think. And look, maybe by the end of the weekend, there will be a badge. Who knows?
We should.
At least,
I will preface.
Homecoming, we didn't see one.
I will preface by saying, for anyone watching this, if we don't talk about something that has been revealed over the course of any kind of announcement or class, if we don't discuss it today, it's probably because we've recorded this episode before that happened. So just be aware, sometimes we miss stuff. We tried to wait as late as possible to record this so we could get as much of the news and the details around homecoming. But obviously, we could miss a thing or two before they happen.
Yeah. And we'll just pick it up next week.
Right.
We'll kind of recap again next week once we get more feedback from everybody. But yeah, so I think that was a little disappointing. I think the other thing that was frustrating, they definitely timed it differently last year, was the fact that there were rides during the keynote, and there were rides during, or workouts during the panels.
Yeah.
So one had to kind of pick. I know that I was on Benny's rides, and I had my tablet, my iPad sitting on top, so I could watch, I could watch Jess and Robin talk. Almost missed my shout out from Benny because I was multitasking. But I wanted to feel like I was in the moment. I didn't want to have to go back and listen to it afterwards. So that I did find it a little frustrating, because they were, those were things I wanted to work out. I wanted to get my, I like my Fridays with Benny, and I was frustrated that I kind of had to do both. So with that being said, some of the panels that were held on Friday were the chat with Robin Arzon and Jess Sims, who did stand in for Leanne. Leanne was unavailable. We aren't sure exactly
MIA.
what was going on this past week. She was MIA, but Jess Sims did step in, and the two of them chatted. And I have to tell you, I actually really enjoyed their chat. They have amazing chemistry, Jess and Robin. I think they were wonderful. And I'm not sure how it would have worked with Leanne, because it was nice to see that the two of them were sitting together, and they had the podium, and they had set it up beautifully.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see. So that was a great chat from the two of them. And then we had next up was the chat with Bex Gentry, who had DJ John Michael, and it was David Packles, and he is the senior director. Thanks, Control Room. He's the senior director of product management at Peloton. And he sat on the platform with DJ John Michael, and of course Bex Gentry was kind of the moderator. And then they brought in a community member in that chat, and it was Shirley from Seattle. And Shirley was actually one of the members that had been on Tunde's Fitness Flipped, the members portion of it. And what I found interesting was Shirley confirmed what we had speculated when we first spoke about Fitness Flipped, in that she was not interviewed by Tunde.
Right.
So she was pretty much kind of given the floor and she spoke away. So that was interesting. And I guess, and I do have to thank community member Eva Diaz, who had reached out to me to say to me exactly that. And I want to make sure that I get Eva's leaderboard correct. She is Pillow for, and I'm Cafecitos. So she reached out to say, I guess she does listen to us, John, every week. And she said, hey, guys, I just wanted to let you know, in case you didn't get to see it, that you guys were actually right. Shirley is lovely. She is a 70-year-old grandmother from Seattle. And she fitted in right there with Bex and John Michael and David. They chatted away, and she was quite sweet on the panel. So that was fun to see. And then, of course, coming up was the live chat with Kira Michelle, Marcel Dinkins, John Husking, and Hannah Corbin, the warm-up. Talking, about instructors, new instructors, and I'm assuming Hannah may be the moderator there, chatting to the 3 newer instructors about their experiences having gotten onto the platform. And then Saturday has the 3 live chats with the German community, which was middle of the night for the Americans and Canadians, but obviously morning time for the Germans. There was the live chat with the UK community, and then it rounded up with the Get to Know Guide live panel and the mental health live panel. So that rounded up Saturday as far as the chats go. So, just lots and lots that were being offered.
And then there's also the chat roulette feature if you want to do a member meetup.
I know you love that, John.
But you need a laptop.
To hear what you had to say.
Well, I tried
Tell us.
last year. If you did it on your iPhone or your iPad, you could hear the other person you got matched up with, but they can't hear you. So you need to do it on a desktop computer or a laptop, which I learned, and I thought maybe it would work this year, but the person I was matched up to, I think she was in the UK, she couldn't hear me. I could just hear her the whole time. So it was like it was a quick wave, hello and goodbye. So I'm gonna have to break out the laptop to do that.
At time of recording, I had not jumped on that feature yet, so
it was kind of fun. I did it a little bit last year.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
I know you liked it last year. I found it a little bit intimidating.
Because instructors would hop on. I know Dennis was on it, and a couple other instructors were randomly on there. So you never know. Could be matched up with an instructor.
All right. So maybe. So that was kind of where, homecoming came and went. Again, I think for a lot of folks, some disappointment. I think people were a little disappointed. Look, it's not going to be what it was. So for members that had been, to HRI or had been to a homecoming, it's just a different experience. They pivoted back in 2020 when they had to go virtual. And I guess, this is the third year now that they're doing it virtually. I mean, It's pretty amazing if you think about it. Wow, that's insane. That I guess they did 2020, 2021, and now 2022. So curious to hear what other members have to say, and please share your feedback after you've watched the show and let us know. But certainly from my perspective, and of course you give your perspective, John, I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, I feel like 2020, when they canceled, when it was supposed to be in person again, I don't feel like they really did the whole virtual program like they did this year and last year. I feel like it was maybe just some special classes, but it wasn't all wasn't a whole bunch of programming with these panels like they've done the last two times. But
Right.
last year, I'm just trying to remember. I mean, it kind of is what it is. You know, I didn't have any like major expectations aside from the rower and hoping to know when we could actually go visit the studio. So that's what I'm most bummed about.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that that wasn't announced. Again, not sure what they're waiting for, but we'll just wait and see. And hopefully, we'll have news to share with you guys soon. I know that everybody is very anxious to know when it is happening. And I'll tell you, I mean, I was planning on being in London in July and changing my trip because
Yeah,
I don't want to be disappointed.
I have a ticket for Cody's Boo Crew rooftop party, which is the weekend of July 6th. And if they're still going to do it, regardless of the studio being open, if the studio's not open, I'm not going to go because I plan on going back to visit Jersey and spend time in New York. The next time will be when the studio opens. So yeah, if they do the party with no studio open, I'm going to have to give up my ticket and give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
The next thing, the biggest reveal that nobody saw coming outside of, the instructor Peloton corporate circle was Jess King is pregnant. And she dropped that major news towards the end of her 30-minute house ride last Saturday, May 7th. She said, "Remember when I told you I had something special for you? Peloton, not only are these the DJs and the dance floors that I will be stepping onto this summer, but they will also be my baby's first boogie. I'm pregnant. Sophie and I are so excited to usher in this new energy." And after the class, she went on Instagram where she shared more details about the pregnancy and the process. She did say she's been pregnant for about 13 weeks and the due date for the baby is sometime in early November. She doesn't know the gender, but she does plan on finding out before the baby is born. And she did also talk about that it had been a long, difficult journey going through the process. She said she went through 2 egg retrievals, one that was unsuccessful. And you probably know a lot about this, having that background in fertility, Amanda. She said she had 2 IUI. What's IUI mean? What's that stand for?
Intrauterine inseminations.
Okay, so, both unsuccessful.
So clearly being, being in a same-sex relationship, obviously they need to kind of get that sperm in there somehow. So, the options are typically in vitro. In vitro fertilization is usually after intrauterine inseminations. They try less invasive before they get into IVF. She was pretty open about her journey.
Yeah, it was pretty detailed.
She which I liked.
Took a while. Basically,
go ahead.
She basically, long story short, after about, she took a break for about 3 months to make her body healthy, aligning her energy. She did an IUI for the 3rd time and it successfully worked, but she didn't get pregnant through IVF.
Which is interesting. Yeah, which is interesting. So, so awesome for them. And really, really excited for them. It's a stressful process. I can't imagine how she, continued working out and, giving her classes. You're on, hormone medications. She was, she was clearly taking medication initially, certainly when she was going through her IVF. She did say she changed her protocols once she went through, but good for her for continuing to be there, showing up and being there for the members and for Peloton. Look, we know Robin Arzon went through it. She's been so open about it. She spoke about it just today, at Homecoming as well, about her journey and how the members she had shared with some people, that she knew was in the field, and she had some support. So, I know for Jess, it must have been pretty hard to, continue going in and having been pumped up on hormones.
Yeah. And maintaining
body changing.
The composure. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is exciting. So, so we have Anna's baby coming. We have Jess's baby coming. There is definitely the baby moon going
Babies.
on around Peloton. I think they're drinking the water. Curious to see who's up next.
What's the next?
Definitely chatter. There's definitely chatter. I gotta tell you, it's crazy.
Well, in other hard factual news, in other news, not speculatory, it was just announced that German instructor Cliff Dwenger was officially announced May 12th. He's going to be teaching bike bootcamps in German. He's already got 3 classes that have been added to the on-demand library. But yeah, we will have bootcamp classes in the UK finally. And who knows, obviously, what other UK-based cycle instructors will also be teaching bootcamp, because we know, obviously, we're going to see some more, but obviously in English as well. But Cliff's Peloton instructor page had been updated on the Peloton website to indicate he was teaching bike bootcamp, and we at the Chris Lewis at the Pelo Buddy team, caught that, right away and posted about that. And then soon after, it was official. But it now states that, he rides in our London studio, does bike and bootcamp classes in German. We do know that Sam Yo, when the new London studio had opened, Sam Yo had teased that bike bootcamps would be launching soon from London. So he did also recently talk, I know in pre-show, one of the rides I was on, he was trying to stay buttoned up. He was so exuberant. He's like, I can't tell you. I want to spill the beans so badly. But he said he had several projects in the works. So possibly Sam Yo could be also in the bike bootcamp circle pretty soon from London.
Yeah. Definitely lots going on there. There is no question, and I know that they are bursting to tell.
A lot of secrets. That's a lot of secrets to keep under wraps there.
A lot of secrets. Right. I mean, crazy.
I mean, God only knows how hard it must have been for the folks that knew about Jess King to not accidentally, reveal something. I know Cody in one of his recent classes said how hard he said, don't tell me secrets. He's like, I am the worst person at keeping a secret. And he said it was so hard that he had to be so mindful around Jess's news not to slip up in any way to reveal that. So he just said how relieved he was that she finally made the announcement that it was out, so he didn't have to worry anymore.
Yeah, that he was going to slip up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, some more stuff that's coming out. We haven't gotten anything too official, but the next bit of news is that there is some new scenic content coming from Jermaine Johnson in the UK. Jermaine had some stuff on his Instagram Live with him outside, and we're definitely looking forward to that. I think there might be others that are going to be sharing some outdoor content and some scenic stuff out there. So I know that there may be something coming from John Husking and Susie Chan. There was some slips there that we heard. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Bex did talk about it. Again, in her panel, she spoke about how amazing it was when she went up to Oregon and did her stuff. And she said that they were planning on having, I guess, 8 different areas, and they've now done 5. So there's still 3 places that they need to be exposed. So we're waiting to see where the next
one coming this month.
So say that again.
One coming this month.
One coming this month. Which, yeah. So lots to look forward to. So for those of you that do like the scenic content, that is something really exciting to see Jermaine out there doing that.
Great. Well, we also had a new artist series announced, Fleetwood Mac, and I know there's a lot of Fleetwood Mac fans, myself included. But we had already teased last week that one of the classes had briefly shown up on the schedule, and Pelo Buddy always catches any little change, however long it stays there. But it was showing that Andy would have a Fleetwood Mac strength class. But the first classes began this past May 13th. And couple of them dropped on demand. So Rebecca Kennedy kicked it off with a upper body strength class. Nico had a yoga flow in German, and Charlotte had a 30-minute Fleetwood Mac ride in German as well. That one was live, but it runs through the 18th. The 18th, there's 3 Fleetwood Mac levels, lane break levels that come out on the 18th. But Emma's got on Sunday the 15th, she's got a 30-minute Fleetwood Mac ride, and then Andy's got his 60-minute total strength ride that same morning, the 15th of Sunday as well. And Dennis has a yoga flow. That is also on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern time.
All part of this weekend.
And
So
I know a lot of folks. I was really hoping that Jen Sherman would be teaching the Fleetwood Mac ride, because a while back she had a Fleetwood Mac ride in the library that she taught. I think maybe it was 2016 or 2017, but that had survived in the on-demand library for a long time, and not too long. One of the more recent purges, it was finally taken off the catalog. But that was a great ride. But it was kind of, and it was also a bummer she was away, for the weekend over homecoming.
Yeah.
So we didn't get her usual
college.
Yeah, we didn't get her usual
Sunday morning.
Her Sunday morning ride. But yeah, I know a lot of people are pumped for that. That should be a really fun series.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to Emma's ride. You will definitely find me on Emma's ride. So that's one that I will definitely be taking. But there was also, so they dropped 2 artist series. The other one was renowned cellist Yo-Yo Ma. That was an artist series that was dropped, and the classes began on May 11th, and it included 4 classes, both in English and German, with Jeffrey McEachern, Mariana Fernandez, Bex, and Christine. I did, and it happens to be one of my picks of the week, but I did Mariana's yoga flow, which was a slow flow on the 11th, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. Bex Gentry has a 20-minute run, which you can find on demand, also they all dropped on the 11th. So that was all on the 11th. Jeffrey had a 30-minute walk in German, and Christine Derkley had a 20-minute ride. So there's those 4 that have dropped for the Yo-Yo Ma artist series.
And it's all instrumental, right? There's no singing or lyrics in any of Yo-Yo Ma's compositions, I imagine.
Well, at least the flow was. I haven't done the other 3 modalities, but the flow was just that. Yeah, I don't believe there's any lyrics.
Not going to be not really going to be rocking out to Yo-Yo Ma.
No.
All right. Well, there's something for everyone. In other news, we had Peloton launching a new ad campaign, which seemed to be pretty well received. It's called Motivation That Moves You, and the ad features 4 instructors: Rad Lopez, Cody, Jess Sims, and Adrian Williams. And Peloton published a blog post about it with additional details around the spot and the new campaign. And they say you can watch epic film moments like these, or you can experience them yourself in a Peloton class. Peloton was created to solve the problem of finding exercises you can stick with, because we make motivation that moves you. And unlike some of the previous campaigns that just focus strictly on the hardware, the bike and the tread, this campaign places the spotlight on the Peloton coaches and adds some more humor in them. So instead of us, seeing the instructors in their traditional space in the studio, we see them in like different scenarios, like in movies or TV shows. So Rad is speaking to a locker room, kind of like, in a football movie, like in Rudy, and Adrian, and they're all in their, and I'll also say they're also in their Peloton clothing. So they're dressed like they're teaching Peloton class, but they're in this different setting. So it's kind of funny. Right. Adrian is speaking to a company boardroom, and Cody Cody's was the best because he's like in medieval times, and he's speaking to like the group of like commoners, the townspeople, and he's giving some of his famous quotes from his fajita ride. Saying you're a plate of fajitas sizzling, and this one sort of like simple-minded looking townsfolk looks at him and he goes, huh? And then he goes, sizzle! And the whole crowd, but the townspeople behind him, they get all riled up from that. So, and then Jess Sims appears to be speaking to the protagonist in a horror movie. So it's just kind of a total, 180 from their normal, some other campaigns, ads that we've seen. And you don't really see any of the actual Peloton hardware until the final seconds of the ads, when the instructors are transported back into their classes and members are shown the bike, the tread, and the Peloton guide. And according to Adweek, Peloton worked with Mother LA on the campaign. Dara Tressiter, Peloton Senior Vice President and Head of Global Marketing Communications, had this to say. She said, we wanted to bring the instructors front and center for the first time and showcase the different flavors of motivation via different instructors and styles. And then a Peloton press release, which we have linked on pelobuddy.com, said the ad will air first in North America with a 60-second, 30-second, and 15-second spots on TV, digital, social, and other channels. And you can read more about it on the Peloton blog, which we also have linked on pelobuddy.com.
Awesome. And then, the much anticipated earnings report came out this past week, and it was certainly a little bit disappointing. Larger than expected losses for the quarter and lower revenue as well was definitely one of the things that we saw come out of there. They spoke about planning to expand digitally, with the app to more countries more quickly. So they did talk about that. They spoke about expanding the One Peloton rental program that they have. Spoke about hitting 7 million subscribers. And let me tell you, I think every single instructor on every panel this weekend spoke about the 7 million subscribers. It was a number that reference you heard constantly. That reference was like in every discussion. They spoke about getting a $750 million loan. So clearly running out of money and needed money. They did say that they will probably make Pelotons available for sale with third-party retailers. So that's something, that I think we'll look out for. I think they already do that in Australia and the UK. So that's something that they already do there. They also spoke about having too much inventory, that they still have too much inventory. And I mean, we've clearly seen that with the sales and stuff that they, are trying desperately, to get rid of. But I mean, the bottom line is it's, a large loss in, Q3. And kind of where they go from here. So the stock obviously plummeted. We saw it just absolutely crash to the lowest it's ever been. So yeah, I mean, Barry McCarthy did call out a few areas that he thought the company could improve on going forward. He spoke about their drive through growth, and as I said, working with third-party retailers, etc. So definitely disappointing, but again, us diehard Pelotoners will keep on Pelotoning regardless of what the earnings come out. It just doesn't affect us. We just do what we need to do.
Still got my stock. I still got my stock.
I do too. I've diluted it a little bit, but I do still have it because you never know. You gotta always own stuff that you believe in. I should
probably buy more.
Have mine.
That would be.
I know.
Probably wise for me.
A good thing to do.
Yeah.
A good thing to do. Exactly. So,
Well, in other financial related news, The Wall Street Journal back on May 5th had reported that Peloton was seeking a sizable new investor, looking for that cash injection, as you mentioned, with that loan, Amanda. As their stock price continues to fall, they said the fitness company is targeting potential investors, including industry players, private equity firms, that could take a stake of around 15 to 20%, according to people familiar with the supposed deal. Discussions are at an early stage. There are no guarantees of the New York-based company will find a taker or agree to a deal. But back when this Wall Street Journal article came out, Peloton's stock price was down 9% that day, the latest in a continuous downward trend. And it is it's worth noting that it was a bad day for the market and for Wall Street in general, however, but the stock price had dropped another 5% or so in after hours trading since that news broke. Overall, Peloton's value has decreased from the high of 50 billion last year to 5.6 billion this week, and it's obviously seems like this deal never panned out, because obviously in that investor call, as you mentioned, they did receive that $750 million loan. So they did, get a bridge, a lifeline there, so to speak. So yeah, I mean, but they were looking. I guess they had some feelers out, but they got their cash infusion elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, I know that at the end of the week, Friday, the stock did close up higher than it had been, at the beginning of the week when the earnings calls happened.
Yeah.
So I believe the stock closed just over $15 on Friday. So yeah, again, I think we should have probably bought it at 11. I think it had gone down to 10 on Tuesday or Wednesday, but it did close just over at 15 on Friday.
Yeah, and it's not like we're in a bull market right now. I mean, like the stock market's in the shitter.
Correct.
Currently. So
correct. I mean, we're exactly
everybody's hurting,
it's
so
right there with everything.
Put everything in perspective when you look at it that way. Yeah.
Right. All right, and a very happy birthday to Susie Chan. Susie celebrated her birthday last Tuesday, and I gotta say, I say this so often, she is just one of the loveliest humans that I have seen on the platform. I mean, there's so many lovely instructors, but with her, she's just warm and so sweet. Her Susie Striders, which I am a part of, we all contributed, and she was spoiled royally with some lovely gifts that she was showered with on Tuesday morning in the studio.
What?
She actually did a run. She did a run, John, at 7:30 a.m.
On her birthday?
On her birthday morning. I mean, seriously. I said, Susie, you are a maniac. And then she did her run, and then her and a girlfriend and one of her guys that she runs with went running afterwards.
Oh, God.
She is like Forrest Gump. I mean, she will just run for hours. But they spoiled her with a beautiful cake. She got balloons. She got some lovely gifts. For those that aren't aware, she's a big F1 supporter and loves Formula racing. She's a bulldog. She has bulldogs. So she got a lovely bulldog mug and some jewelry, and she was just so humble and so appreciative of it. So a huge shout out to Susie and a very, very happy birthday. So I guess what was even more impressive was that she had been out the night before with some friends. She shared that in her pre-show, and yet she still got there, and it was really cute. She showed as she was arriving up to Peloton Studios, one of the security guards, who has the most magnificent voice, was standing outside singing happy birthday. And then when she got into the studio and she was ready to get onto the tread, over the they call it the they gave it a name.
The loudspeaker.
Voice of God, I think they say. The voice of God, though, because it comes over. They all sang happy birthday to her, and it was just very cute. Really, really sweet to see. So, so happy birthday to Susie, and hope you had a nice birthday. We celebrated you last week. Hopefully
did.
You had a nice birthday.
We went out to dinner on Friday the 6th. Jackie and I and Jackson, we went to Benihana, celebrated the birthday. And I know, my favorite chain restaurant. We go there once every like 5 to 10 years. So it had been a long time since we had been there. It was fun though. Doing the whole hibachi, the show at the hibachi table. Jackson was, he eats it up. Yeah, it's so like touristy, but it's fun. We like the fried rice and all the veggies and the sauces that they use. So yeah, it was fun. We had a good time.
That's awesome. Good.
Yeah, and Jackie,
you had a happy birthday.
And Jackie had surprised me with a first class plane ticket to Boston to go see John Mayer. So that's how I ended up going to his final concert of his Sob Rock tour on Tuesday night. I was on the hook to get the concert ticket. She said I didn't want to buy you a concert ticket because I know how picky you are, and I ended up buying a really good 10th row floor seat. So I had an amazing view, but it was totally worth it. And I flew in like at noon on Tuesday, and my flight home was on Wednesday morning at 5:30 a.m. So it was a quick,
oh my goodness,
quick turnaround, but totally worth it.
But it was amazing because I know
Great
how
concert.
much you love him. I mean, he's right there. He's right there behind you.
Oh yeah. I was locked in with John. It was a great concert.
That's awesome. So
it was fun. I wish Jackie had been there,
Well,
but it was easier going solo.
All right, John, I guess after all of that, next up is Picks of the Week.
All right.
And there's another slew of them. I'm really loving this. The members are definitely getting involved in that aspect of it, right?
Oh yeah. We have some passionate viewers and listeners.
For sure. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and kick it off. I have 3 this week, and what can I say? I can't miss a pick of the week without putting in John Husking, and I got to tell you, 30-minute pop run from Thursday. It was on the 12th. I had to do it on demand. It was a 2:30 a.m. Eastern time class, and I was just not getting up for it.
I don't blame you. I would never run that early.
Yeah, I've biked that early, but running is a little bit much. So I did it, and I did it later on in the day, and I got to tell you, I mean, it was such a fun run. And I guess my legs were on fire because I got a PB on that run, which I haven't done in nice. A little bit of time. So, it really was nice. I mean, he had everything from starting out with Maroon 5, which is, one of my favorite, Moves Like Jagger. Mm-hmm. He had the Jonas Brothers. He had Justin Bieber's What Do You Mean? The only one that was Happy, the Pharrell Williams Happy, that was my only one that I wasn't too sure about. But he had the Killers. He had Mr. Brightside, and that is one of my all-time favorite tracks. Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. And then he ended it off with Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners, which was just amazing. But as I've said this so often, what John does in his workouts is he creates a story. He does like this whole story, and we crashed a wedding. So this particular run, we crashed a wedding, and the way he animates his workouts is pretty hysterical. I mean, we literally went along with him, and right through to the end, and it was just a ton of fun. So gotta give that one a shout out. And then on the bike, your girl, Jen Sherman. I gotta tell you, after being disappointed with her Rob Lowe ride, she redeemed herself. Because I gotta tell you, that Mother's Day ride was absolutely amazing. I did do it live. I didn't get up early to ride with Leanne on Sunday morning because it was obviously Mother's Day, and it was Mark's birthday, and I didn't want to aggravate him. So I waited and did Jen's 45-minute mixtape Mother's Day ride, and it truly was amazing. She just was lovely. She just was lovely. I loved all her little antics and her stories. She played amazing music. She dedicated parts of it to her kids. She dedicated parts of it to her mother, to the moms in the community. And I got to tell you, it was one that I may even do again. So that was on from Mother's Day, May 8th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and it was 45 minutes. So I loved that it was a 45-minute ride. And I wasn't alone, because Raish 328 and Abasaurus agreed, and they had recommended as their picks of the week. Their comments were great music, motivational, and real. And that is truly how I felt. I mean, it was back to the old Jen days, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then my third pick was a 30-minute slow flow with Mariana Fernandez, who I am loving at the moment. I think she's fantastic, but it was her Yo-Yo Ma flow. And John, she did such an amazing job. I mean, the lyrics, or not the lyrics, the songs she picked were really beautiful, and I recognized some of the tunes. She started it off actually differently to most of these slow flows, or most of these flows go, where it was really just kind of like a body scan and somewhat of like a meditation before she started the flow. She dedicated to I think she said her papa, her like grandfather. She said he loved playing the music. And I have to tell you, it was, as a still somewhat beginner, intermediate yoga person, it was an easy one to follow, really beautiful, and I take my hat off to her. And other members agreed too. So Tammy OX and I believe it's DIPR, also picked it as their picks, said feel good flow, playlist was so moving, and I 100% agree with that. So those were my 3 picks for this week.
Nice. Well, I loved the Jen Sherman ride, my birthday ride too. And I especially loved, she didn't realize it was my birthday, but she still shouted me out. And then she kind of took it back and said, "You aren't celebrating shit today. You got a freebie."
And I was screaming at the screen. And John, it was hysterical. Mark was laughing at me because I was screaming at the screen going, "Jen, look, there's the birthday. It's his birthday. It's his birthday."
That was better than a shout out, birthday shout out, which on Tuesday morning before one of the classes, she saw me and said, "Hey, I realized I forgot your birthday, so sorry. Happy belated."
I know.
So she gave me a proper one too. All right, so
that was too funny.
I got a few. I'm going to start off with Friday, May 6th, Benny's 15-minute 80s ride. It's in German, but super fun 80s playlist. You don't need to really understand the language to know, you've got the cadence and the resistance metrics, hopefully, that are displayed there. I don't know if they're currently, if they add them right away for German classes, but they'll be there eventually if not. But he played a couple tunes, 80s tunes that I gave him by the English Beat, and another one. I can't remember if it was Madonna, but just it flies by. It's 15 minutes. It's a great ride to tack on to another one, or longer one, or to do by itself. And then I rode with Camilla Ramon for the first time, finally.
Nice.
I had really been meaning to. I know she always teaches Monday morning at 6 a.m. She took over that slot for Olivia. So I took last Monday, the 9th, I took her 45-minute Hidden Hills ride, which was super spicy, great playlist, mix of pop, South Florida vibes. It looks like Ara Say 21 also submitted this one as well. And also, it was really funny because at the beginning of the class, she had a funny pre-show moment, and I posted it, and she was wearing this orange-colored pair of leggings. And I didn't actually realize it until the comments started flooding on the Insta reel that I made. It looked like she wasn't wearing pants. It looked like they were kind of flesh-colored. So it was super fun. And then I noticed it, and it's like the first couple seconds you think she just you see the black battery belt around her waist, and you think she just has a belt thong on. So it was really funny. And then she commented and said, "Oh, now that I have your attention, I'll go put on pants now." So she was cracking up. So, and it was a great ride. So I'll definitely be doing more rides with her. It was in English. She teaches in both Spanish and English.
Yes.
Andy Spears, 30-minute tread boot camp from Wednesday, the 11th. Super fun playlist. I think it was upper body. So lots of different actually upper body sequences that I haven't normally done. So he kind of changed up the programming on the mat. So a little different types of movements, which I liked, because I can only do so many curls and dumbbell presses, and some sprints there on the tread, which I love to sprint. So check that one out. And then Jess Sims, she had a 60-minute pop bike boot camp on Thursday the 12th. That was really, really hard, but a really good playlist. A lot of hip hop heavy. I know Try Again, and Aaron N. Strom also submitted that one, but I'm still sore from that one. Jackie did it with me live. I know she was singing along to a lot of good sing-along tunes, but especially Kelly Clarkson, Breakaway, because Jackie was, sounded like she was getting strangled singing that on the bike across the room. Anyway, so those are mine. Oh, and also I want to throw in Cody's 20-minute pop from Friday, May 13th. It was an all UK female playlist. So there's some Spice Girls in there that I can remember off the top of my head. And he started out with the Dua Lipa track. I think it's Shut Up, I think it's called. But super fun, and some comedy nuggets sprinkled in there too. So Cody's 20-minute pop from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it was interesting though, because he had it at the same time as the keynote. So I was, I was a little bummed that they had, good rides at the same time as keynotes. But I know I had to pick.
That wasn't the kind of ride I wanted to watch something else at the, to multitask on. So yeah, I missed the keynote live.
All right. Well, you want to go on with Matt's?
Yes. So the next first member pick, Matt Wilper's 90-minute Power Zone ride from Saturday, May 7th. Wow. This one was submitted by, appropriately, Power Zone Rider. They said there aren't many 90-minute rides these days on the platform, so this is a great one. I did one with him. He does one maybe quarterly, every 3 or 4 months. But they're great. It's a journey. It's 90 minutes. It's a long, long ride. But once you get through that 60 minutes, then you're in the home stretch.
I don't think I've ever done a 90-minute ride. So Power Zone Rider, all the more power to you, because boy, that definitely is a dedicated, long haul listening to one person the whole time.
And typically on Saturdays, Matt's does an all-request playlist Power Zone class. So you can submit songs through one of the folks that runs the Power Zone pack. So it's a good mix of just all sorts of different random genres.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So Aditi kicked off the Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month with a yoga flow that was back from the 7th. So that was from Saturday at 5 to 10, 9:55 a.m. Eastern Time. It was a 30-minute flow. And Miranda Land said, best music, flow, and vibe, perfect for any time. And that's definitely one that I want to catch because I love Aditi's flows. So that's awesome.
Nice. And we had several members submit Jess King's 30-minute house ride from Saturday the 7th. Glitter Lawyer, Katie Jump 529, and Strongheart. They said house music and the big baby announcement. We had the baby reveal on that ride. They said gave me all the feels. So I haven't actually done it yet, but obviously social media was just flooded as soon as that happened with everybody spreading the word.
So fun, so fun. And then Badge Junkie. I love that name. I love that leaderboard name. Badge Junkie picked Alex Toussaint's 45-minute Hidden Hills ride, also from Saturday, 1:30 p.m. Said great music, have been out of it, and it was great motivation to get back to working out. So good for
That was a good
Badge
one.
Junkie. That's awesome.
I did that one live, and it was funny. Alex always loves to say, he always loves to say when he's listening to music and sing along, he always likes to say, so soulful, so beautiful. So he sees me, and now he is, because I always poke fun at him for that. And so he always seems to say that when he sees my name, he associates Kenny Banya with soulful. So he called me out and said, Kenny Banya, so soulful, so beautiful. And then later on, he was vibing to a song, and he said, Banya, so soulful. I don't know if it's cool or weird that I think about you when I say that.
That is funny. Oh my goodness, that is funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that was a good one.
Nothing weird about that. It's totally cool, Alex.
No, nothing.
Next up, Kendall's 20-minute pop ride from Monday the 9th. This was submitted by Custom Cars, Grills, and Sex Dad 73. I like that. They said hidden Shrek themed ride, all songs from the Shrek soundtrack. So we should also give a shameless plug for the list on pelobuddy.com for Disney classes that we have on the website. Yeah, just go to pelobuddy.com. We have it in there. But Chris Lewis always works tirelessly to pull together to call all those different themed rides. So be sure to check that out.
And I got to tell you, it's not even a shameless plug. I have to say, often I will go over to Pelo Buddy to check that stuff out because
it's just so much easier.
Show up on so much easier. I mean, like now the Fleetwood Mac stuff came up, and it was so awesome to just go straight to Pelo Buddy to look at what Peloton only came out with it a couple hours later, and Chris already had it all listed up, and I knew because I love Fleetwood Mac.
He's always on top of it. It's like we're like the Cliff Notes for all the Peloton programming and content.
Exactly. It's just holding Peloton's hand and giving them some extra nuggets. Susie Chan did a birthday run, and our very own Chris Giles, as well as Jelly Crackers, had said that the playlist was on point. It was a 30-minute 80s pop run. She did it on the 10th, which was Tuesday morning. It was at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time, so a really early morning for her. And, I say it often, Susie is just a doll. I mean, she is just the most down-to-earth, humble sweetheart. And, as we spoke about when we spoke about her with the birthdays, it was lovely to see her reaction. But that was a great one. And I have to say, definitely one for folks to jump on.
We had a 20-minute pop punk run from Daniel McKenna. This one dropped straight on demand, so it was recorded before he was injured because he's still off the schedule. But it's from Tuesday, May 10th, submitted by Irish Yank 88, and he said it was straight on demand. Panic at the Disco, Paramore, and a lot more good tunes on there.
Awesome. And another Cody Rigsby did a 30-minute pop ride on also Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. His 6:30 p.m. slot. And Danielle Snyder 6 was the one who recommended that one.
And we have another Andy Spear 20-minute hike. This one happened after the bootcamp I did on Wednesday, May 11th. But Caroline Campion submitted this one. They said fun throwback playlist with 60s and 70s music. I like a good hike, so I'll probably bookmark that one.
Yeah, it's nice because it's just a 20-minute hike. So that's actually quite a nice one. Don't want to miss this one. Kristen McGee, so Run Ash Run 83, picked the 10-minute focus flow and floor poses. It was from Wednesday the 11th at 12:45 p.m. Eastern. And Run Ash Run 83 said, great workout for post-runs. Great.
And we
That's awesome to know.
Sorry, I skipped over. I guess I should have done the Kristen McGee one.
That's okay. No worries.
Then Christine Dierical, 20-minute Yo-Yo Ma ride from also Wednesday, May 11th. This was submitted by Caitlin Moran 8 and Amy West.
Awesome. Adrian Williams, Socially Sarah, said that his 30-minute strength roll call upper body from Thursday the 12th, it was at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, was one that she highly recommended.
And we have a German ride, a 30-minute Caribbean music ride from Mila Wedekind.
Yeah.
Submitted by anonymous member. I don't know if that's their actual leaderboard name or they said a fun playlist and the class was in English. I stand corrected. So a great chance to try a class with Mila if you haven't tried her German language classes yet.
Awesome. And last up, Kira Michelle. She gave a 20-minute evening yoga flow on Thursday. It was at 8:05 p.m. It was recommended by Level 4 Spin and Books, Bikes, Beers. The comments were a fantastic message about how you are not your emotions or the tough parts of your life. The flow was relaxing and perfect for winding down the day. So we have some awesome picks of the weeks, folks, and hope that you guys jump on some of those if you had not thought of doing them before.
All right.
So yeah, John, I guess that wraps that up. Some amazing picks and lots of little bits we got out of all of that, all of Homecoming. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Whatever you made of the weekend, in your own ways, with your own groups. I know that everybody kind of had their things going on. So yeah, and let's see what this new week brings. So I guess from me here in Maryland, bye for now, everybody.
And from me in Michigan, appreciate you tuning in, watching and listening to us. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.